Hey guys, today we're going to talk about tiny homes, and it's just going to be a brief video. I'm not going to go into too much depth because I could be here for like hours sitting here talking about what I think about them and everything that I did. But just to go into the important stuff, probably what you guys want to know, what I think about it, and how I've been doing. So I've been living in this tiny home for 2 years. It is a 10-foot by 20-foot general shelter. It wasn't made to be a tiny home. I built it out. It was just a shed. The windows you see behind me, everything, that's how it came. It actually came with another door on the far end, which I ended up covering up because I didn't need two doors on a 10-foot by 20-foot shed. So, but I bought it for $700 on Facebook Marketplace. It was actually the first purchase I made on Facebook Marketplace because I was just against social media at that point. I didn't really believe in having a Facebook, and I'm very glad that I did find it. Before I had this, I had a camper. I had a FEMA trailer that I thought was going to be the ticket and was going to work. But unfortunately, I didn't really like it. It just felt really small, even smaller than the tiny home for some reason. I don't know. It moved a lot, even with the jacks all the way up on it and stuff. I weigh 250 pounds and I'm 6'1". It was just too small for me. The bathroom was way too small for me. I don't know. It just didn't really feel good for me in there. I didn't like it. And for some reason I knew that I wanted to have a tiny home, so I ended up selling the camper and buying this. So total investment what I have into the tiny home is about just under $10,000, and that's doing a lot of it myself. So I did hire a buddy of mine to do some of the plumbing and electrical with me because this is my first time doing it. The concrete pad that it sits on is a 10 by 20 pad with a 5-foot patio, which I poured myself. I bought a cement mixer from Facebook for $100 and then bought the pallets of concrete from Home Depot and did it all myself with a friend's help. And yeah, so here we are. It's been 2 years, and some things you might want to know is that it's pretty small. So having people over is just hard. It's having visitors is it's not easy. You really can't have somebody else stay over. Your bed is so small. I sleep on a twin XL. My couch is basically like a love seat or whatever. I mean, it's really enough for me and my dog, and that is it. So you really can't lay out on it. Some issues that I found with living in the house. So it's really hard to heat it and cool it, especially if you're to go without power for some reason. I don't have a propane tank. I don't have a fireplace or a wood stove, although I had thought about putting one in here originally. When the power goes out, this temperature will drop quick. The walls are pretty thin, and so the insulation rating on this thing isn't that great. That's including the ceiling too. So it is obviously a little bit easier for the elements to get to you when you live in a small house. Just this one, obviously, because of how it was built quickly, and not that it's a major issue, but it's just something you have to consider, being that we had, I think, 2 weeks of frozen temperatures here in Texas and rolling blackouts, and so it made it pretty hard to make it when you don't have electricity and it's negative 10 degrees outside. So just something to consider. Overhead is really low, so the my electric bill is around $60 a month, and I don't even try to conserve electricity. I just leave the AC on all year round, or if it's in the winter, I'll leave the heater on all year round. I don't turn lights off, although I do have LED lights. That saves a lot of electricity. It wasn't for the purpose of saving electricity. It was just because I like the light that I actually produce. So I do like that. Taxes are low. I don't know what the appraisal district even sees this as, if they just look at the GPS map or if they've had a drone come and check this thing out. But my taxes really haven't changed very much. So that's nice. And it's convenient for now because it costs so little till I build my big house. This will do just fine. And then of course I could resell it and get some of my money back out of it that I put into it building it. So, but if you're looking at basic costs of things, I mean, the cost of land right now is just ridiculous. And it's a seller's market from what I've been told from one coast to the other. I mean, it doesn't matter where you go. Everything's selling for high, and you're having to overbid in order to get property at this current time. Doesn't mean things will change in a year, especially with whatever we got going on politically. But being a seller's market, it's hard for you guys that are interested in doing something like this to acquire the land, because they're asking stupid prices. I mean, in just 15-20 minutes down the road, they're asking like $20,000 an acre. I mean, you got to be kidding me. It's just crazy right now. So with that being said, living in a tiny home is just cost effective. It makes sense. It can go up really fast. I had this place built completely in about 2 months. That's working as much as I could while still holding a full-time job. So I did pretty much everything here. I hired one guy to do some of the electrical and some of the plumbing with me, and a little bit of drywall work. But outside of that, I did everything. I did the land clearing, the driveway, the water, electricity, septic, everything. So the concrete, I poured that myself. It's definitely been a journey and something I'm really proud of. But it's also hasn't been the easiest project ever. So, but it's been worth it. I think it has been. I don't regret it at all. The decision of having a tiny home, it's great for me. I can't say it's going to be great for you, but for just me and my dog Odin, it's been great. I could live in this honestly the rest of my life. It's just not conducive to having a family or having people over. And as hard as I work on this property, I really would like to show it off and have people come visit, because I take pride in what I own. So hard to say that, and you guys believe it, on most of the junk that I'm working on, and then of course the way that I dress or what you see out here, but all things are temporary. So I do plan on having a bit more established and cleaner place. I like taking care of my stuff. I hate that, you know, I got my John Deere tractor sitting out here in the sun. It just kind of drives me wild. So I just, nothing I can do about it. Financially, I don't have the means to just pay somebody to do something for me, nor can I just even justify doing that, because if I'm paying somebody, chances are I'm just watching them do it for me anyway, and I can't have that. I need to do it. I need to learn how to do it. So I'll take you through a quick walkthrough and a walk around of the house, and yeah, just talk about some basics with it. So the plumbing on the house, I have, you know, shower, sink, toilet, all runs out. That's the J-trap. It runs out to a septic, which is basically 2 ICB totes that I put together, buried just below the surface of the dirt. And then I have a 100-foot of leach line that goes in a downward slope out towards the woods. And I haven't had to maintenance it or had any issues out of it. It's worked great. Of course, that's the back of the house there. So inside, I flip my bed up so that my dog can't jump on it when we're outside doing stuff, because he'll get it all dirty. But all I have is a small little love sofa, and it's actually very comfortable. And then for my kitchen, I have just a regular refrigerator that I got for $100 on Facebook. This stove I've actually had for like 10 years. This thing's gone from house to house. And I put a cutting board over two of the elements to have counter space, and then I just use really the back element just for myself. And then the sink I got from Home Depot. I think I paid like $120 for the whole thing. It comes just like that. I mean, it comes with it's a deep sink. Works good. The head has 2 different sprays on it. I mean, it just works great. So then for entertainment, I have, of course, my big TV and entertainment center with lots of movies. So obviously this isn't a necessity, but it is for me to keep my sanity out here. I really like being able to watch movies, that or watch YouTube and learn from it. So having a TV and the ability to edit videos and everything, I do it all on this. So and then the bathroom, I just have a toilet and a stand-up shower and a sink right here. And of course I have an AC unit. All my electrical is done off of a 4x4 post, and then of course it's plumbed down into the house. But all in all, it's been a great project, and I mean, honestly, it's paid for itself, and it will pay for itself again when I sell it. I don't plan on keeping it here. Building my main house right here. Now this is really why I wanted to have the permanent structure. What I'm going to have in place of the tiny home is actually carports. I'm going to have a bunch of cars sitting here, so that when you actually drive up, you'll be able to see the depth of the backyard, which I'm still clearing out, underbrushing, taking more trees out. But this thing's going to be huge. It's going to be 5 containers down and 1 or 2 on top. So a lot more to work on this house. But I've been trying to do some other things financially in order to get to a point where I can actually just work on focusing all my income on the house. But I'm expecting by the end of this year, it's going to look a lot better than it does now. So it'll be a lot further along. I'll have the containers and they'll be welded together, and you'll be able to get a better idea of what my mind is. You'll be able to get a better idea of what I'm trying to do. So